you're trying to understand what they're saying, and you're not only waiting for an opportunity to say your own opinion or to voice your own concerns. So that age, so maybe it's through a game, and you're giving them instructions, and you're teaching them to listen, and then pay attention. Or maybe you're telling them where to get sweets. So you're saying, you listen. If you don't listen carefully, you're going to run around. You're never going to find them. So make sure you pay attention. And if you pay attention, you will know exactly how to navigate your way and get to a place where you're going to get sweets. So in those games, they're actually learning to pay attention. They're actually learning to pay attention to instructions. You know, there's always an assumption. I don't know if this would happen to you sometimes. You would have written so many exams to a point where you think you know what is in the instructions, so you don't even bother like going through the instructions.
Yes.
Kind of you just like open and then you you go in there. So here we're saying you need to listen, and then we also explain like the importance of listening, that if you listen, you're going to learn a lot. If you listen, you're going to build relationships because you're going to understand the other person. And then the other one related to listening is speaking. Speaking is also very important. You know, I'll start by sharing this about myself. So because I'm naturally an introvert, there are times where I would silently argue. Like there are many
or
people
silently argue.
Yeah, silently argue. So somebody is telling you something, right? And they're assuming that we are together. And then that's when they will realize, no, we were actually not together.
But I thought you were in agreement. No. You were contesting silently.
Silently. So that's not a good thing. It's important to voice your opinions.
Yeah.
Because when you do, the other person will have an opportunity to actually understand and know how you're feeling, and make amends should they need to. And also when you speak, people get to understand your ideas and benefit from your ideas, because your idea may actually be the best, but there are some people who in a meeting will not say anything, and then outside the meeting will go, yeah, you are given an opportunity. You must have said. So it's also important in the speaking aspect for them to be assertive enough to stand their ground, because we don't agree, we are diverse, we are different, and that's what makes the world beautiful. But then it needs some confidence for somebody to stick to their point, because some people would say a point, and then when someone else says that is wrong, then they just give up on it, and then they're now agreeing with the other person. So that personality trait, equally agreeable, you know, that's how we grew up. We were being taught kuti, maybe when somebody is speaking, Tarisa Pasi, agree with everything that they're saying and all that. But in today's world, it's not a personality trait that will make you excel in life. You know, think about it. If you feel good and you're going to need to go and make your case. But if you're an agreeable person, you should be able to
state your case, to be assertive, as you said.
And the worst
factual things.
Yes. The worst thing you get is a no. And that no, it's still okay. Yeah, at least you tried. There are no regrets. You tried to do something. And then the other one, the other skill here is teamwork. So teamwork, that is very important. You know, no man is an island. There are many things that you're never going to be able to achieve when you're alone. So you need to then collaborate with other people, and that has to start from a tender age. So we deliberately sometimes give them games akashort, and we know they're going to have to communicate with each other, learn how to share, be patient with each other. The other one will be rude, and then they'll have to learn to deal with all those different emotions. That sometimes you get frustrated, but then they'll learn to come down and then work together. They'll learn to support each other, because normally what we do, especially when we're doing workshops, we take like an age range. So it's not only 5-year-olds, it's 5 to 7-year-olds. So there are others who are a little older, and now they're helping out the younger ones, and then the younger ones are approaching the older ones. So that dynamic is very important in teamwork, because in almost all teams, you're going to see those dynamics. There are some who are managers, who have a little bit of authority over others, they are subordinates and all that, but you all have to work together. And then we also teach them about what it means to offend someone, because sometimes kids don't really care. They'll just say something. That's offensive. Yeah, they'll just say something. So we then try and
which
help.
Is important, eh?
It
is.
Yeah, they have to understand if somebody has been annoyed or has been angered by what you've said. So what do? You know, our parents would say, "Kana machemedzana mobatwa message, chita we sorry." Then maitana sorry, chiaganai. Go play together, and then you would go. So you actually learn conflict resolution from that age. So even as you grow up, you know, okay, this is what happens, and then they're supporting each other. It's all part of a teamwork, and just being polite, using the right language, and also showing enthusiasm. You know, I always tell kids this and say, imagine if I, as your coach, had a problem. Maybe I'm angry, somebody angered me at home, and then I come to you and I start shouting at you. I start just teaching you in a serious mode, no games, no that. How would you feel? So it's also important to consider how others are going to feel about your conduct, about how you are feeling. Because if you're angry, if you're depressed, you're going to kind of pass on that depression, pass on that anger to the next person. Have you ever been in a room with a person who's angry or who's bored, and then other person are boyka now? You for no apparent reason. Nobody has angered you, but just because you've shared a room with somebody who's angry or who's bored.
Yeah,
you
it
kind of
rubs
switch
off
on.
you too.
Yeah.
It rubs off you too. They just change also the aura and the atmosphere.
Yes.
Yeah.
So all of that. And now we talk about bullying also. Because, you know, normally when we talk about bullying, we are focusing on the victim, the person who's bullied. But in this, we also focus on the bullies themselves.
Because
that they
very cool,
understand.
and there are other kids who
Yeah.
are bullying other kids.
Yes.
Okay, so you also focus on them.
Yeah, on them, and then
Okay.
talk to them so that they understand what
What
they're
do
doing.
they be saying?
Because, you know, there's something I've realized, especially with little kids. I'm not going to go like a toy, right? And then they smashed on the ground. And then you get to them and you ask them, like, why did you do this? You'll be surprised sometimes they'll become like, oh, I'm angry or I'm bored and I want to go back home and all that. And then you explain to them why what they've just done is bad. You explain to them that, oh, if you break this toy, next time you're going to want to come back here, that toy will be gone and you're not going to enjoy it. Why did you beat that person up? Why did you do this? Oh, it makes me feel good. But have you considered how it will make that other person feel? So as young as they are, sometimes they actually understand. And what I realized is many young people little kids don't want to disappoint their teachers. Paunozoita a teenager and teacher. You don't care about what teachers think about you. You don't care about what parents think about you. But when you're young, you really want to be the teacher's kid and all that. So when you show a child that your behavior has disappointed me as your teacher, most of them are willing to change and be on the good side. So that's what we will be talking about.
And it's a good thing that someone is having conversations with the bullies, because some of them will grow up and be menaces in the society. So it needs to be dealt with. Okay, you don't do this, you don't do that, this is not right, and they're called out. Yeah.
And it's nipped and the bud. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then another skill that we also talk about is staying positive. So, you know, we're living in a world where, because of what is happening, it's you can end up just complaining, and there are people always complaining all the time.
All the time.
So in teaching them to stay positive, we are making them realize that for every challenge there is a solution, and you can choose to be that solution. Okay, so this thing is broken down. What are you going to do? Are you going to go report to someone? Are you going to ask your mom to buy you another one? And all. So those things at their age, these are solutions that are age appropriate to them. So rather than just cry, you're crying, nothing is going to happen. Nobody may come to you because you're crying. So explain to someone what has happened and what you need to see happening. That's part of finding the solution. So that is what we are teaching them. And obviously they get complex as they grow older. When they're a teenager now, you're looking at bigger issues. Okay, maybe there's a problem at school. Now they've already started learning about coding or something. Can't you create an application that can actually solve the problem, that gets all students who are doing a particular subject together, that gets all the information that you need, or that records lessons from different teachers? Maybe you're saying your particular teacher for that subject is not as good. You prefer another teacher. How about you create an application that records my lessons essay, so that you can you can share the lessons. You can learn about the same topic from different teachers and get different perspectives and learn better. So we're saying don't just complain, because if you complain, nothing is going to happen. Don't just make excuses. Come up with solutions. Be the one to actually come up with solutions. You have the ability to do that. So these are the skills that we are teaching them and trying to inculcate in them from a tender age, so that even as they grow, they become CEOs, they are able to use the skills to make the world a better place.
Because leaders are made.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, leaders are made. Thank you so much. We're live, by the way, on the Strife and Facebook page, so you can also go check it out. Coach Tafadzwa, your parting shot and your contact details.
I'll start with my contact details. So I'm readily available on WhatsApp, and my WhatsApp number is 0773 606 728. 0773 606 728. And my parting words are: they are never too young to learn. At that age, their minds are so open. And they are learning. You may not realize it, but later you'll see the results.
Later you'll see the results, and you don't want the one result that you would like regret in the future. So let's make sure that we positively impact, our children. Thank you so much, Coach Tafadzwa. Teamzim.com, taking our time to 11 o'clock. Star FM sounding good all the time. It is time for the news.